Welcome everyone to my channel, all the flat earth and anti-flat earth enthusiasts who believe the sphere is a flat earth is debate. I do believe it's a sphere. This is the man himself, the king of all flat earths. The one I find the most entertaining. I try not to give his channel direct views. I try to watch Dave or everybody else. I'll obviously in the future just continue posting people that defeat flat earths, flat levers. But today we're gonna be watching one of Dave's videos. I will just here and there pause. I'm gonna put it into X. This video won't be too long unless you guys tell me you would like them longer. Tell me if you want me to speak less or speak more. Um, I'm not gonna say I can answer all these questions. I'm quite tired at the moment. But I would like to give this a shot. I do watch quite a bit of flat Earth videos when I'm bored. But yeah, let's jump on this. I'll be skimming here and there, and we'll see what's going on here.
Name's David Weiss. They call me Flat Earth Dave because I found out that the Earth is not a globe, and it changed everything in my life. First, when I heard about it, I said it's the dumbest thing ever. I ridicule people.
Okay, so he usually says this spiel where he was a science guy. He believes that he's a sphere, and now he 100% is on the flat Earth wagon. He believes it 100%, and for the sake of money, I believe, at this point he knows it's not real. He would have just went to the offer that all the other flat Earths got to go check the real, Antarctica, see what's going on there, and he didn't go. It's obviously a sphere, but yeah, he's just gonna go down rambling about his situation. Let's skip a little bit.
For even suggest that spiritually changes your outcome one day. And that's what we did. Most important topic of all times. And people say, Dave, how could you say something like that? There's so many things going on in the world with homelessness and child, trafficking
Okay,
and
he's blaming the world
all of the lies, all of the atrocities, all of the
because
nonsense
of
going on
flat
in the world
Earth.
because people are lost in space, spinning out of control, and they think they live on a bumpy rock floating in a space vacuum.
Yeah,
How about that?
odd.
Interesting. Well, tell us some more about that.
Interesting. Yeah, I like a
Jump to this
response.
conclusion.
So I was a science guy, and I believed everything I was taught in school, and I got good grades.
Talking to him like a little child.
Memorizer and regurgitator, right? If you want to get good grades, don't question, just memorize and regurgitate what the controllers want you to know. And so
Similar to what what he's saying is similar to what he does. He just spits a bunch of information at you, and hopefully none of them stick. You're not really like too much of an I don't know. I'm maybe a little too tired to talk right now, but realistically, like if you're too involved in the topic and it's your thing, you will easily defeat Dave. But if he's over here talking about and asking, like you're gonna see, he's gonna ask a lot of questions. Like there's no way you're gonna answer this unless you really are involved in the topic of space and read it on a daily or it's your profession.
I worked my way up. I went to college. I was in two different industries: the printing industry and the commercial solar power industry. Do you think the Earth is a globe? Do you think the Earth is a globe? You could say I used to. Probably. So the question you have to ask is why?
Yeah.
Other than they were told, you were
You
told,
said yeah.
NASA showed you pictures, right? Because I can show you that NASA's a fake agency. The initials stand for not a space agency or National Aeronautics Swim Association because they do all the training in a pool. They're a big Hollywood studio. Matter of fact, NASA has the largest green screen studio, I think, in the country or in the world. I forget. Why does NASA need a green screen studio? Right. So when I say what's the number one reason? Because I offer 3 bitcoins. Anyone's following Bitcoin? That's very exciting.
First of all, he doesn't have bitcoins. I believe, not to disrespect anybody's where they stand financially, but I believe he lives because his app is a scam and he spoofed his own address. But someone mentioned that he lives um, in a government assistant location. So, anyways, he's offering a bunch of Bitcoin. We'll see what questions he has, but to at least mention what he said, NASA is he's mentioning he uses green screens. That doesn't make any sense. That's not possible. At this financially, it's not possible, and they were down to make mistakes. And also simply Russia and China would be doing the same, if not just snitching on each other, just be tattletelling on each other. Um, yeah, so it's not possible.
For one globe proof, Bitcoin's at $107,000 while we're speaking per Bitcoin. So that's $321,000 if you can give me one proof we live on a globe. And when you try to, you're like, well, and the basics are, seasons, sunsets, pictures of Earth from space, um, water spinning backwards in Australia, right? And when I take all of those away from you, show you that they're not, they're actually proofs of the opposite. You throw your hands up and say, what difference does it make us to go to work on Monday? And you get pissed, and people get all upset, they get emotional, they start calling you names, but they can't come up with a globe proof. And if I say to you, you know what, and by the way, I'm gonna ask you 4, 5, or 6 questions, and I got them all wrong, so you have to get as good as 0 right to equal right, okay? What's the circumference of the Earth at the equator? What's the diameter of the Earth? What's the radius
Okay, the diameter is 12,742 kilometers.
of the Earth? How far is the Earth from the sun?
Radius is 6,371.
How do they figure it out? How far is Venus? How big is Venus? What's the distance to the moon? Right? You don't know any of these. But people
Oh,
will
for a
defend.
fact, not that I.
Honestly, just Google it or ChatGPT it. Not hard.
Yeah, not that I can.
And to answer his question on the moon, we have objects on the moon. You can beam a laser on it. It beams right back to Earth, and you can measure how long it took. And then you can kind of go from there.
Go and measure it.
Yeah, and nobody can go and measure it, right? Nobody can go and measure it.
Right.
Like if you can't touch something or see how far it is, then how are you going to know anything about it? For example,
Beam a laser beam
on
on
the
it.
moon, you can say, if I showed you, let me see if I can find this real quick. Where'd it go? Here it is. You just saw it? Here it is. So I got 4 moons here, right? 4 moons. How big are those moons? I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm gonna give you a question. Are they the size of golf balls? Are they the size of tennis balls, basketballs, or yoga balls?
The distance from Earth to Sun is roughly 149.6 million kilometers. Let's go to space.com for more information. Let's see what else we got here.
You have no way of knowing, right?
Well, is it? Yeah, I mean, it could be millions of miles around, or it could be
Well,
the size of
this is a
thing.
model. This is a
Right.
model that we took a picture of in a dark room. And is this one a sphere?
I've seen him talk about this before. Professor Dave.
Yeah, look, I think
brings
Jupiter's in
it
the
up.
sky these evenings right now, and it's like the brightest star in the sky. It's like super bright, right? But
Super bright. Yeah.
super bright. How is it? It's like a piece of the sun, but just very small. It's that bright, right? How is Jupiter reflecting sunlight back to us
Sometimes things are brighter in space. The sun is the brightest thing.
at that brightness?
And you can just say, it's Saturn or Jupiter.
Right, Jupiter's
It's
400
basically like a giant disco ball, but Jupiter is 86,881 miles wide, and its clouds reflect sunlight efficiently. Brightness depends on the size.
million miles away from us, right? That's 4 times the distance of the sun. So if we're on Jupiter, we're 5 times the distance, or 4 to 5 times, depending on where we are in this alleged orbit. So the sun would be like the size of a pencil eraser if you were on Jupiter. So you have to believe that distant pencil eraser sun is lighting up Jupiter, reflecting off of the gassy, non-reflective surface, traveling 400 million miles away to your eyes here on Earth, and it looks that bright. Makes no sense. You can't figure it out because it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense, right? But people,
I give him props to how he just always throws up all this information. He does repeat himself a lot. And it's kind of like a consistent battle with him when he's speaking. Like, he's always gauging his opponent, because I always see them as opponents, even if they're on their side. the less they know about space and the more they nod their head and agree for the sake of him, being Dave, because it attracts some viewers, which is hilarious. Um, it's more so you make fun of him, you get views, or you're just a nice person. He will just go with it. But if you see this guy debate Professor Dave, that does not give a guy an inch. This guy, he's an awesome debater, very intelligent. He destroys Professor Dave and embarrasses him. Like, it's beyond entertaining. But when he's just versing someone nice and just enjoying the moment, or just the conversation, he will just ramble and ramble and ramble the same spiel.
but people,
Ugh.
well, we can see it, therefore it does work. But that's called a reification fallacy, right? You can't use your model to claim your model, to prove your model. So it goes on and on. The outer space. Good question. I don't know. Right? Here's our world. If you want to go to Antarctica, we have all these bases. These are all these red dots are all the bases around Antarctica. We actually have 2 of our guys that are in Antarctica right now. They're coming home tomorrow. But they go from Chile right over to here, like right over on the edge here, right? And that's a huge trip, right?
All right, so I'm assuming he's gonna bring up the wall mainly. So we all know America specifically is capitalist. It's all capitalism. It's all about money, money, money. Flights cost money, gas costs money. Spirit, for example, that's going bankrupt at the moment, but they're just staying afloat. Stocks down. Anyways, they're trying to reduce everything, all costs. This is save money, so they're gonna avoid going certain locations. But to give you some examples, New Zealand, um, is a great example. Australia is another great example. If you want to go look up the flights from one location to another, there's many YouTube channels that they have many examples on this.
But what's funny is on the globe model,
You're
they're supposed
funny,
to go from
Dave.
here to here, right? But nobody ever from this base or this base or this base or this base.
I don't know how many times people have told this man and explained this specific thing he's talking about, like probably 1,000 times, and he yet is just going back to his same spiel like a robot. It's scary. It really is. It really, like, I don't blame people for getting really mad at people like this and banning and flat Earth off YouTube sometimes because it's like this guy really is damaging some people. But it is what it is, man. But it's funny, it really is.
comes over to this base. Not that far. Could do that in 5, 6, 7 hours, maybe. Plane flight. But no one's ever gone over. The guys are at this little green dot right here. If you can see it. Okay. Because it'll be a lot of it, right? Yeah. Hide your spirituality. Hide more land. Hide more resources. Hide scientific knowledge. Hide what's in Antarctica.
All right, so he's probably mentioning these private islands that's outside the walls that elites are supposedly living in. With what? Who's serving them? Did they kidnap people out there? The elites, like quote unquote elites, like people working for them. So I don't think they have robots over there or any resources or any of that nonsense. This is not Attack on Titan. This is the real world. Um, it's not possible. But I guess they live in La La Land.
Hide that you're special, right? Those are just the beginnings. And to keep you in fear. The only thing to fear is fear itself. That's the only real statement I've ever heard a president say. And that's what they try to do. They try to keep us in fear. Who's they? These are the they that we know, but these are just the puppets of the real controllers, the Council of Foreign Relations, the United Nations, the Liver Group, the Church of Rome.
This is not Monsters Inc. We're not trying to. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not the funny guy here, but like this guy is just constantly just trying to put fear and control, and it's like you can see there's just an agenda, and it's always quote unquote elites and quote unquote people, etc. I don't know, man. There's a lot of satellites. There's too many countries. There's too many people. At the moment, humans are not united. So obviously, Russia and China will quickly claim, say, no, we did this and you didn't do that. But that's not happening. So yeah.
And the Trilateral Commission and what's that last one? World Institute of International Affairs. So these are the bills. Who built those buildings? Did those people?
Oh, okay. So that's another conspiracy. Separate. He's really going all over the place. So just the idea that civilization had many resets, and this is from prior civilizations. In certain parts of the world, there are cases that you can talk about, but for the most part, there are no elites erasing the world and hiding things. There was cases where they built on top of other, like for example, a castle. I can't give you direct examples, but maybe in the future I'll be more prepared. But realistically, they're just building on top. There's nothing like, you know, hey, let's claim these buildings, slap our logo on it, and it's ours. It's not, they're just building on top of it with better technology, and sometimes technology is lost, so that people that came to this location are not, up to keep. So, um, but yeah, it's just another conspiracy he's really jumping into. This is looks heavily AI or just an old video that's altered. Anyways, I can see what he's talking about, but I don't know, man. It's just too many conspiracies, and the guy is just all over the place.
Right? Everywhere,
Good
there's
question. Yeah,
underneath. They're finding, in India, they're finding temples 40, 50 feet under the ground. Temples, right? In the middle of nowhere. Like, oh, they built down there, they built these towers because of the, the warring people, and they built castles, right? This stuff was here. This stuff was here. San Francisco was here hundreds of years ago, right? You know what this is? This is this is in Washington D.C. This is like Lincoln Memorial or Washington, one of those buildings, right?
yeah.
It was here already.
That's what I was gonna say.
It was here, and there's another building below it. When they did an excavation a couple decades ago, and there's literally another building below it. So
Wow.
yeah, and then you'll learn about the giant bells, right? And they said, oh, they had to get rid of the bells because they needed them to make bullets, right? There was giant bells everywhere. These were healing bells.
Okay, so I'm assuming he's gonna be talking about. So they melted the bullet. I mean, excuse me, they melted the bells for the war, and there's frequency that people think that whereas healing, and they removed it because it's a healing principle, and bells has always been part of our culture. But I just don't think people like bells, and I didn't mind hearing it as a kid. I liked hearing of churches and Christmas and all that good stuff. But I don't know about this. You can always just go to YouTube and click play on a video. What's the difference?
Healing frequencies. And they also used it to steer hurricanes away. When a hurricane was coming, all the churches would ring their gigantic bells and the hurricane would dissolve.
I've heard things like that.
Dissolving a hurricane with bells. I just don't see that being plausible. Um, I can see like someone getting a humongous, not built presently like a big, sound device that is like aims at a specific location. Maybe it can disrupt, but that's something that like MythBusters has to do. if they already didn't do that. I can assume that there's gonna be some type of, but I don't know about you, stopping a tsunami. Like Lord have mercy, like 200 foot tsunami coming your way and let's just hit these bills and cross it. Come on, I don't think there's enough bills in the world to freaking hit.
I've heard some. Yeah, I've heard things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that would like, I don't know. This doesn't
So,
make any
and again,
sense.
they don't want you to know giants. See these guys right here, right? These guys are like 6 feet.
Oh yeah, okay. Regarding giants, that's another thing. This is obviously AI, man. If there was ever any giants, like I can't even give you a reason. There is not any giants. Like there's no bones anywhere. Um, there's no weapons. There's like it doesn't make any sense why there was. You know what I mean? Like this. I don't. It's not plausible for humans to be that big. Anything over 7 feet, 8 feet, you've noticed. Seven, I think honestly, anything over 7 feet, they start walking weird and dying young, and they have to require so much physical assistance and different. It's like all over the place. So I can't imagine them being 8, 9, 10 feet walking back in the day, thinking they're gonna be chilling.
Tall. These aren't even. So when people say really ready, and who's ready for a 5-hour video? Not me, but
Be careful of his apps. Don't download his app.
you'll be extradited from your
He's
family.
always bringing it up.
People
He just wants money.
you, but we're going almost 24 hours here, and this building hasn't moved at all. It's still right there, right? So if it's supposed to be behind the curve, right? My mouth is behind the curve of this ball. You can't see it because it's behind curvature. It's too far away from you, right? So we can see things that are below the curve, and then they just go, "Oh, that's refraction. That's refraction. It's refracting up." So if there was a 20-foot brick wall in the middle of a giant,
Everything saying here is not true. Professor Dave talked about this in